The number one thing I hear from parents whose kids have started leaving the nest is, how do I parent these adult kids? How do I be a better parent? How do I stop worrying about my adult kids? I'm not kidding. I hear it at church. I hear it out with friends. I hear it like when my husband and I have dinner with other couples. I hear it at pickleball. The women are talking about it. I'm definitely getting it from the people I coach. It is a really valid concern, because think about it, like this world that our kids are entering in and trying to figure out, whether it's politics, whether it's socially, whether it's financially, like it is very different than the world that we emerged into adults as when we were their age. It's so different. And so it's a very valid concern. My name is Mindy Heath, and for over 20 years, I've been helping women heal their hearts, their thoughts, their emotions, their overwhelm, their worry, so that they can have really strong, safe relationships with themselves, God, their spouse, and their children. So I'm so excited that you're here. Please like and subscribe and stay to the end, because I'm going to actually give you a really concrete tool that you can use that is going to help you know your next steps of how to really be the best parent to these adult kids and how to support them the most. So we're going to go over 10 things. Actually, I have one bonus one also, that 10 things your kids, your adult children need to hear. And I've broken into 3 categories, because really we need to understand what they want and need. And guess what? It's probably not the same thing you may think they want and need, and it may not be what you wanted and needed at that age. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we do need to consider, what do we want and need? Like, where are we in the mix and what are we trying to accomplish? That's always really helpful. And then also just some things that strengthen the relationship in general. So for starters, what do your adult kids want and need? Now, honestly, you might need to ask them, what do you need? How can I support you the most? And before we do that, I want you to take a step back and think for yourself, what do you want and need? What is your goal? Because if we've got stuff like codependency, or we need to feel important, or we need them, like we're lonely and we need them to pay attention to us, or we're feeling insecure because they don't call enough, or they don't respond to our texts, those are all extremely valid and not your kid's job. That's your job. Those emotions, those are things. Again, I have a solution. Hang on till the end. But those are not your kid's job. It's not their job to help you not feel lonely, or help you feel important, or feel to, spend time with you. And so when you can clean that up and get really clear, I'll share with you what mine is. My goal as a parent, I have 3 adult kids and a teenager still at home. My goal is to love unconditionally. My goal is to be their biggest fan. To be so clear in my own emotions and my own needs and everything going on within me, that I can enter that relationship with complete encouragement and support and love. Now, does that mean that that I don't have boundaries, or that I am not honest about how I feel about things? No, but it changes, right? Once they're not in our home, that the like giving advice thing, we don't necessarily, you can give all the advice you want, and it probably isn't going to go very well, especially if it's unsolicited. That's not going to foster closeness and safety. They're adults. They're making their own choices. Let's just think for a second, because this will probably help calm your mind. Think about yourself in your 20s. I think back to my 20s, and we are just figuring stuff out like crazy. And we've come a long way, and your kids are going to also. It's going to be okay, even though they're facing way bigger things than we were. And I get, we're dealing with things like differing political views, differing, gender and relationship views, differing religious views. Like, there's so much more going on for our kids than was necessarily for us. I get that, and I honor that. And these things that I want to share with you still apply. So, number 1 is, our kids are looking for support, not solutions, right? It's not the time. We don't get to give unsolicited advice anymore. Unless, of course, you're like really prompted by the Spirit to say or do something, then do that. But it's pretty rare. And that's actually a personal rule I have for myself. I make sure I'm really clean on what is my motive and what is my desire and what am I trying to accomplish. And I often pray before I say things that are weightier, bigger topics. So they're looking for your support, not your solutions. So you might want to say, I get why you're upset, or I get why that's concerning, or, oh, that's a really big decision. How can I support you? Just ask them. Another thing along those same lines is ask them when they do come to you. If you're lucky enough that your kids come to you for advice and they come talk to you, please ask them this question. And sidebar, do this to your spouse. It's phenomenal. Ask your child, would you like advice, or would you simply like me to listen? Majority of the time, they're going to want you to just listen. And so honor that, respect that. If they haven't asked for advice, do not give it. Something you can say that is so supportive is, I want you to find out what works best for you. Another version of that is, I believe in you. I believe you can figure this out. I'm excited to see what you do with this. Show encouragement. They're facing so much. They need someone who believes in them. And please believe in them. Don't say these things if you don't mean them. They're inauthentic. Again, at the end, I'm going to share how to clean that up. Be honest, but try to get yourself to a place that you can believe in them, that you can trust, that even if they make big mistakes, that they'll figure it out. Because again, how many mistakes did you make in your 20s? Something else that's super supportive, I'm on your side. Can we just sit with that one for a minute? Can you just imagine different times of your life if you just had someone say, hey, I'm on your side. I'm here for you. How good that would have felt. Again, they don't need us to solve their problems anymore. They need us to believe in them. They need us to cheer for them while they figure out how to do it themselves. Hopefully that started way back. Hopefully you've been doing that for years. That's a great thing to be doing as teenagers. Let them make mistakes and learn the hard lessons while they're in your home and while the stakes are way lower. But even if not, then go ahead and start now. They need to learn how to do this on their own. That leads me to, I love you all the time, no matter what. That's one you've really got to mean. Can you love your child even if they're making choices that are different than you would have them make? Even if they're making decisions or maybe even going against everything you taught them? Can you love them unconditionally? For me, I believe that's a Christ-like behavior. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have boundaries, again, so don't misconstrue that. But I believe that Christ, even if I'm blowing it, loves me. I believe he's there for me. I believe that he's on my side. I've experienced that personally. I felt his love and his encouragement and his spirit when I've been making huge mistakes or when I've just not understood things or I've been, in my human experience learning. And so I'm trying to be that way too. I'm trying to be Christ-like. So I love you all the time, no matter what. Now, we're going to mess up because we're humans and we're just learning too. I'm being the parent of an adult child for the first time. So are you. No one gave me any lessons. I'm here for you, trying to give you some lessons. So sometimes there's going to be cleanup. Okay, so when we've messed up, here's some things we can say. I didn't handle that very well. May I try again? How cool is that? How about, you're right. Help me understand. This one, help me understand, has been so big with my 3 adult children. To just say, hey, the way you see the world is different than how I see the world. Help me understand. Help me understand how you see things. Help me understand why this is so important to you. And literally seek to learn. My children are teaching me beautiful things and help me grow and expand and become more Christ-like and become a better human. You're right. Help me understand. How about, I didn't know what you needed. What can I do now? Especially if there's cleanup from past things or things that we wish we'd done differently or things that they're expressing, hey, I didn't like this, how you parented this or did this thing. That can be a great one. A lot of humility. Being able to say, I didn't know what you needed. What can I do now? Now, these ones are just some relationship builders that frankly all of us need to hear. You matter to me. When was the last time you just looked your kid in the eye or sent them the text or wherever you're at, whatever's comfortable, whatever works, just said, you matter to me. I hope you know how much you matter to me. I'm proud of you. That one is so vital. That doesn't mean you agree with every decision they're making, but what can you be proud of them for? Tell them that. I enjoy your company. That one can go so far. So, how do these land for you? Which one stood out? Like, which one kind of spoke to your heart and was like, oh, that one, I need to do that one. Or which one maybe felt really uncomfortable, like, oh crap, I need to do that one. I don't know how. I'm not sure if I can. I really want you to just consider which one does your child need to hear the most right now, and start practicing these, start working on them. Now, if some of these feel a little overwhelming or a little uncomfortable, it's okay. They might take practice, and it's okay. And I want you to know, I want to go back to the authenticity thing, because the most important part is that you're really going to mean it. If you're going to come in and you're just going to say these things, because you're trying to, get something out of the relationship or get a reaction from them or something, like, don't use these to manipulate or coerce. That's not going to feel good, and that's going to harm the relationship more. Get to a place, there may be things that you need to work on to get to a place where you can say these sincerely. That's actually where I come in. That's what I specialize in. I help people clean up, whether it's thoughts, whether it's beliefs, whether it's perceptions, whether it's emotions that anger, resentment, frustration, hopelessness, whatever. Whether there's just past things, like the water's muddy and there's already damage and you're not sure like how to even get to a place where this kind of stuff could happen. That's okay, I've got you. That's what I work on. I have the Joyful Life Community is a coaching program where you get the education and the tools and the support to clean up everything inside you so that you can enter relationships in total peace and love and not with any baggage, honestly. So Joyful Life Community, I'll put the link in the description so that you can learn more about that. But I want you to consider these. Consider what your child needs most. Consider where you're at in the relationship. What do you need out of the relationship? And what steps do you need to take to get your heart in order so that the relationship can be close and strong and safe from both sides? Because that's really possible and it's really needed, right? Like, we need that within us, and we need to want to be able to give that kind of love and support. So I hope these were helpful. I'm super excited. Remember, like and subscribe. And again, if you want to know more about the Joyful Life Community, I'll put the link in the description so that you can fill out if that's something that would be helpful for you.